Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Jay North. I'm coming to you from the kitchen where we're about to throw it down. A lot of bullshit going on, crazy in the world. Figured let me share a nice little recipe that I enjoy that I pulled off the modernhoney.com website. It's a nice grilled chicken marinade recipe. Do the chicken breasts, of course, on the grill after they've been soaking in this marinade for at least 30 minutes. I like to let it soak a little more, kind of like myself in a hot tub. So I'll probably go for a nice 2-hour swim on these. And I prefer chicken breasts, but you can use thighs. And then I'm just going to go over a couple materials that you need to get the marinade sauce made up. And then, of course, obviously, marinate that chicken for as long as you want to. And I'll share what I do with my chicken. And we're going to be serving these over a bed of rice with a nice sauteed broccoli. All right, so what ingredients are you going to need to make this marinade? Again, this recipe came from modernhoney.com. Great website, all kinds of nice recipes on there. The author of this particular recipe is a woman named Melissa Stadler from, again, modernhoney.com. And if you're somebody that's in the market looking for honey products, because ironically, Modern Honey is like a recipes website. There's a lot of nice recipes on there, not necessarily specific to honey. So if you're looking for honey products, remember our friend Kevin Groth with Nature's Little Helper. Visit natures-little-helper.com. Check out all his organic honey and CBD infused honey products. So anyway, back to this wonderful marinade. You're going to want 2 pounds of chicken breasts or tenders or thighs. I like the breast, so I go with that. You're going to do 1/3 to 1/2 cup of your extra virgin olive oil, and that's going to depend really on your preference. If you're trying to cut the oil down, you'll probably cut that down, or depending on how much meat you're actually cooking. Then you're going to want your 3 tablespoons of our fresh lemon juice. And yes, that is an Instapot, and these things are wonderful. Then you're also going to want 3 tablespoons of the soy sauce. You're going to want 2 tablespoons of the balsamic vinegar. So one of these. You're going to want to do 1/4 cup of brown sugar, which I have actually already, it's over there, but I've actually already taken the liberty of putting that in the bowl to get that all mixed up. Then you're going to want 1 tablespoon of the Worcester sauce. Hopefully I'm saying that right. That's everybody's favorite item in the kitchen. Then you've got an option here. Sometimes I will go with 3 garlic cloves and I will mince them up real fine. But I also have picky kids that sometimes don't like texture. If that's the case, you could substitute 1/2 teaspoon garlic powder, same thing. Then you're going to want a teaspoon, 1.5 teaspoons of your salt. And you're going to want 1 teaspoon of your pepper. And then you can garnish it with fresh parsley, should you so choose. So what happens when you put all these wonderful products together? You come on over here, and pardon my stove, kids are the devil, and that's why we have these covers. And it will look like this. It'll have a nice consistency to it. You can see the brown sugar's breaking up in it. All your sauces are mixing together. It's got that dark, oily consistency. So then what I'm going to do from here, I get my chicken prepped up, which I'll share with you in just a moment. And then that chicken, these all get put in gallon bags, and then they go for a bath for a while. Like I say, the recipe calls for at least 30 minutes. I prefer at least 1.5 hours, sometimes 2 hours, depending on when the wife is coming home. Alright, so I've got my chicken breasts now. We made the marinade, of course. We went over that, all the ingredients. Again, this is a great recipe from modernhoney.com. And so I always like to try to trim as much of the fat as I possibly can off my chicken breasts. And these are huge. This meat actually came from Aldi's. And these are gigantic. Some of these actually gave me 3 fillets. But I like to fillet them right down the middle, split them in half as best as I can. Trim the fat off them as much as best as I can. And then you've got 2 options because you're going to want that marinade to really absorb into the meat. So good old-fashioned tenderizer. And I know what some of y'all are thinking. He's going to beat his meat. Ha ha ha. Yeah, okay. So what? And then if you don't have a tenderizer, you can use a good old-fashioned fork and just simply poke holes throughout the chicken breast and achieve the same results. All right, so at this point we've walked you through the process as far as the ingredients go, what it calls for. Again, modernhoney.com. So this is basically what happens. Fillet the chicken up. We tenderize the meat, I actually use the tenderizer. And now what I do is I lay the chicken breasts in the bag very carefully. And then once all the breasts are in the bag, that's when I also take that beautiful marinade that we whipped up a little while ago, and I carefully pour it into one of these 1 gallon Ziploc bags. This is what I mean by saying we're gonna give it a bath. And now I'm gonna shake it up real good. I like to mix it up. I like to make sure it gets in there. Again, not rough. You just wanna mix it around, let it get all through the meat, let it start soaking in. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this back in the refrigerator until it's ready to hit the grill. All right, so the beautiful thing about cooking is you can get rolling on it and kind of change your mind. So I've decided I'm going to add a little more flair to this dish while the chicken is marinated. I told you guys at the beginning, at the top of this, that we were going to do it over a bed of rice with the sauteed broccoli. I'm actually going to take it a step further. I'm going to add cherry tomatoes. I'm going to saute that up with the broccoli. Do it all in a nice balsamic vinegar with a little garlic salt, and then same with the cucumbers. Going to get those sauteed up as well. So we're going to throw a little more twist in it, get a little more vegetation into my diet here, and as we get to sauteing those, I'll show you what we're doing. Go. All right, so these have been marinating about an hour and a half, and they're going down on the grill now. And these smell fantastic. You can really smell the brown sugar in that balsamic vinegar right now. So these are going to be on the grill for probably about 10 to 12 minutes. And I'm going to come back and check on them shortly. I'm going to cook them on an open flame. And then I was raised by immigrant Italian grandparents, so we're not going to waste anything. I'm going to just drizzle ever so slightly from my Ziploc bag. Whoops, try not to overdo it. And I'm going to use every drop of this marinade. Nothing's going to go to waste. The grill is hot. I'm going to do about a medium heat. And if you don't know, the internal cooking temperature of completed chicken, finished chicken, is 165 degrees. So when in doubt, get your little meat thermometer, poke that sucker in the middle, and see what you got. So we're gonna let these bad boys simmer for a couple minutes before I turn them. In the meantime, I got the sauteed vegetables firing up. So I'm gonna go get the pan hot and get those thrown down. All right, so as I say, we switched it up a little bit, and I was gonna saute 3 different vegetables. So the cucumbers are a little bit different. We're gonna saute those in butter, and we'll do those towards the end. So what I'm gonna start with here, I got my broccoli florets. You see I cut them up real small. That's good stuff with a saute. That gets nice and tender. And then of course I got my cherry tomatoes, and we cut these in half. And we got the oil in the pan, medium heat. Pan's hot. Just gonna swirl the oil around a little bit, mix it up some. And we're just going to pour these bad boys in there. You can hear them sizzling. Same with our broccoli florets. Going to get those in there. Got a couple tomatoes that tried to run away. We'll get those in there. And we'll mix these up. And we're going to let these go for about 2 minutes. And then at the 2-minute mark, we're going to add some garlic salt and a nice balsamic vinegar to it. And we're going to let that cook. And we're going to try to let these tomatoes brown up a little bit. Same with the broccoli florets. So we'll leave those go for a little while. Again, we'll do the cucumbers later. The rice has already come to a complete boil and been put in, so the rice is doing what it's doing. It's nice and hot, and the chicken is on the grill. All right, so again, we just got our vegetables getting going on saute with our broccoli and our cherry tomatoes. So these have been down on the grill, and the marinade's already starting to caramelize. So it's been probably about 3 to 4 minutes. Now grills are great because mine's uneven. My middle cooks really hot, so we're going to do some flip-floppy here. And I'd say about 3 to 4 minutes on flips. Just want to keep them nice and juicy. Keep your eye on them. Don't forget you got your veggies going. This is how you get ready to make a nice dinner. And the wife's on the way home, because she's essential and she's been working the whole time. Try to time it all out right with 3 kids that didn't want to really listen to me today and do any, homeschool. But that's what these like, and I'll perfect my grill marks at a later time. You see my grill burns a little uneven here. So you just keep your eye on it. As I said, internal cooking temperature of your grilled chicken, 165 degrees. So when in doubt, you can pull out a little meat thermometer and give it a good temperature check, and if you're at 165 or higher, you are in good shape. Otherwise, some people, they can just look at it. God, those smell delicious. I'm not trying to toot my own horn. That's a good marinade. I can smell that, and I sincerely hope all my neighbors can too. And then, yeah, come on over. Bring your own chicken and bring your own beer, and I'll cook it. All right, so hopefully you guys can hear that. We got a nice sizzle starting to go on our sauteed tomatoes and broccoli. No browning yet, but there's definitely a nice scent. That balsamic with the garlic is in the air. You're starting to smell the tomatoes and a little bit of garlic salt on there. I think that looks good. And I might actually get a little crazy. And I'm a balsamic guy. I love it. So I tend to, if you want to wet it up a little bit, eyeball it, because you never know how fast it'll cook off. Everyone's pans heat up a little bit different. This is a medium heat. So if you got a traditional gas stove with 6 different levels of heat, I'm at 3.5. So you're not trying to singe these. See how the broccoli right here is getting a nice brown? That's kind of what you're looking for. And these will caramelize into balsamic. So what I'm doing here, I'm just kind of making sure I get that balsamic all in the veggies. That's going to come out amazing. And now you know we already flipped the chicken out there. So we're going to heat up the rear pan, and that's going to go down. Yeah, and you can hear the sizzling again. Hear that? Already back to the sizzle. So that's how quick that's going to cook up. Now we're going to get this back pan hot. Cucumbers are going to be a little bit different. Those are going to get sauteed in butter. In another minute or two, probably lower the heat on these a little more and cover them up. So yeah, just came back out, checked on them again. Again, my gas grill, it's a little bit older, so the flame's a little uneven. So of course you're going to have pieces just based on that element and based on size element. Some are going to cook a little quicker than others. So you're in maintenance mode, you're keeping an eye on it. Smells delicious, marinade caramelizing. Can't wait to get into it. We're going to run back in the house now, and we're going to get our cucumbers going. All right, so we're back in. Sauteed broccoli and tomatoes looking really, really good. They're at that point where it's getting nice and caramelized. You're starting to see some brown on the veggies. Also, you'll see like the light green on the broccoli as it's cooking before it browns up. So what we've got now is we're just kind of steaming them a little bit. I added a little bit of water and put the lid on it. So we're trying to get it to just a nice level heat, just a little bit of steam, and that's all we're trying to achieve. We're not trying to boil it. We're not trying to overcook it. Cucumbers are a little bit different, and I don't know if you can see that as well. The light's a little funky on the cucumbers, but there is let me turn that off. That's better. So you got the butter in there, and the cucumbers are actually going to saute in the butter, and they're going to be a little bit different. You're looking at 3 to 5 minutes depending on the size of your cucumbers here. They're going to get a little soft, and in some cases with the butter they will brown a little bit. Because ultimately what's going to happen is these are going to wind up getting combined with our cherry tomatoes and our broccoli. It's going to be just like a nice sauteed veggie salad. You can add a little salt and pepper to this. And I got my pepper right over here, if it wants to cooperate with me. And my salt, I believe, is in the pantry. And we're just going to put a little pepper on there. It's not a ton. We're not trying to kill it, not trying to crush it, just a little bit. And then the same with salt. And I get a little like this with it. I like to just put it in there. Kind of like the salt, what's that guy? The salt? Yeah, the salt chef. That's him. Jay North, the salt chef. And you can smell this already. This is just a nice way to saute the cucumbers, nice and quick. Get them to a good point, and then we'll wind up marrying them up with our cherry tomatoes and our broccoli. Time to go check on the chicken. All right, so we're coming together nicely here. We're starting to get nice grill marks on our chicken. This is the last flip. Everything is caramelized. Nice grill marks. Looking good. This little guy, this one's time. Oh, don't lose him. Oh no, a fatality on camera? No, he saved it. He saved it. We're gonna move him up top. He's probably hot enough. Oh yeah. There we go. And then this guy over here. Oh yeah, he's looking good too. We'll give him a minute. We'll throw him up top, and then we'll put him up on the top rack like I did with this guy. And before everything gets pulled off the grill, we'll do temperature checks on him, show you guys what I'm talking about with the meat thermometer. So you make sure you're at 165 degrees. All right, so these are just about done. You can kind of see that there's getting a little brown on some of the cucumbers. Cucumber's going to be a wet cook. You don't need a lot of butter in there. I probably put about maybe a quarter stick of butter. Small, not a lot. Just get a good melt on there. Smells fantastic. And they do get a little tender. Your cucumbers will naturally soften up a little bit. About another minute on those, and they're going to get combined with the other veggies. We got our meat out on the grill on the top rack, just kind of resting right now under the hood, if you will. We're going to go back out there and get ready to pull that off, do a final temperature check, and make sure we're good to go. Absolutely amazing. And we've got the, so what I like to do, I like to bring a little, I don't know what you call this, little plate. Got my meat thermometer just so I could show you guys what I'm talking about. Take it off the grill, so no deception. Aim for the middle of your meat, and you're gonna watch this thermometer continuously rise. And what you're doing right now is you're just checking the internal temperature of your chicken. I like to give this lecture, guys, not because I think you don't know any better, but because I had food poisoning once, and undercooking meat is an easy way to get it. So this thing is just going up and up and up and up. You notice it doesn't blast off like a rocket. It takes a while. But as long as that gauge keeps heading up, we're heading in the right direction. If you're not to 165, you throw it back on the grill for a few minutes. I want to get it a little bit hotter than that, y'all. So, believe it or not, that's not that far away. When you shut the hood on your grill, and the reason I moved them up to the top rack, I'm going to quote my guy Squirrely Dan from Letterkenny, we don't want to make it drier than a fart, okay? So I bring them up to the top rack, not because I'm saying that they're finished and we're going to eat them, but because I don't want to dry them out. So this is the portion of the cooking. Again, I'm on a lower heat. I don't want to dry them out. If you go too fast, your chicken will dry out. And then I'm just going to close the hood. And we'll come back and we'll check on those in another few minutes. So, perfect. All right, y'all. These cucumbers got a nice brown to them. And it is time. I'll bring that in nice and close. Look at that. See that browning? Just a little bit of your cucumbers now. That's it. Nice. Now, time to get married. Everybody likes a holy matrimony. Times have been tough. Let's celebrate the union, the blessed union of the cucumbers. Okay, that's going in my sink. And now, we're going to just mix these bad boys together and let everything just kind of take over. Take these completely off the heat and just cover them back up while we go tend to our chicken. All right, so this guy, from my eye test, looks pretty good. So, let's see what we come up with here on my little meat thermometer. Oh no, I went to Canadian temperature. There we go. Okay, back to Fahrenheit. And now you see that after just a few minutes, that thermometer's going up a lot higher. 145. So I told you that last time we measured at 125, we really weren't that far off. That is going up and up and up. And the way that's climbing, we know it's going to get there. So that's in good shape. That's going to keep going. And that's pretty much the point of it. So this is the finished product. This is what they're going to look like. Nice, ready to eat. And we're going to enjoy that. We're going to serve these bad boys over that bed of brown. You could use brown rice or white rice. That's really entirely up to you. And then whatever kind of veggie you want to throw with it. And that, my friends, is a recipe that I decided to share with you. Thanks for taking the journey, guys. Appreciate it. And remember, I got this podcast too called Nauerthern Exposure. You can find it on Spotify, Anchor, and Apple Podcasts. Y'all be good.